My name is Joel Patrick, and I'm here to tell you the truth about MAKHIA Brown. Here's what I first saw on World Star Hip Hop. A 16-year-old girl is killed by police officers in Ohio. In an effort to find more details, I went to the comment section first, and I saw things like, if you can't handle a 16-year-old girl with a knife, then don't be a cop. And he could have tased her. Immediately, I began searching for more news articles, and I found this one by NPR. Columbus police shoot and kill black teenage girl. And this one from ABC News. 16-year-old girl fatally shot by police in Ohio. And this one from the Washington Post. Ohio police fatally shoot black teenage girl. The only people that were remotely honest in their take on this story was CNN, surprisingly, with this article. Ohio police officer shot and killed a black teenage girl holding a knife. The police did not just show up and kill a little girl because she was black. They showed up and observed a young lady fighting with two other young ladies, rushing towards one of them with a knife. When that girl fell, she turned and rushed toward another girl who was pinned up against a car, and the police shot her when she was mid-swing with a knife. Despite the media and her own family members' lies, there is body camera footage to confirm all of this. Watch what her aunt had to say.
You know what they did? She didn't have no knife or nothing in her hand.
Tell the truth.
They came up to this 15-year-old girl, shot her 4 times.
Tell the truth.
The knife was on the ground. Shot her 4 times. Okay? Yeah, she had a knife in her hand. No weapon in her hand. 15. They killing black folks. They don't care. They don't care.
Here's a screen grab from the body camera footage. Clearly, the knife is still in her hand. There's no such thing as a good shoot, but there is such a thing as a justifiable use of force. If you believe Black Lives Matter, then you will agree that the 2 other black girls that she would have stabbed lives mattered as much as MAKHIA's, and the police officer saved 2 lives by taking MAKHIA's. I would like to point out that last year, 1,500 people died from stab wounds inflicted by knives. And for the person who asked, why couldn't they have used a taser? Well, there's a police officer in Nashville, Tennessee, that was shot after tasing a woman who, while she was being tased, reached into the center console and pulled a firearm and shot the police officer 3 times. Of course, this incident sparked outrage, and people are already marching in the streets in Columbus. This is why we have such a hard time getting behind any activist movement in today's day and age, because people will pick the wrong people to advocate for. If you are against violence against young black girls, then maybe it's time to stand up against the gang violence that kills young black girls. You are probably not familiar with Jaslyn Adams. Jaslyn Adams was a 7-year-old girl who was shot and killed in a drive-by shooting at a McDonald's. 7 years old. Now, she's not going to get any marches or mass protests because she was killed by another African American. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Nearly 9,000 African Americans are killed every year by other African Americans, and none of them get marches or riots or special interest groups raising money for them. When someone is killed, it's a tragedy because someone was killed. Their skin color is irrelevant. And this myth that the police are disproportionately killing unarmed black people when fewer than 25 unarmed black people are killed every year needs to stop. I made a video once called "Dear Black People, You Lost Me at Riot," but I think it goes without saying, anyone of any color, if you need to destroy other people's property to get your point across for why your movement is pure and full of virtue, then you lost me. And I'm willing to go out on a limb here and say that you lost most Americans when you started rioting. I've heard Black Lives Matter this and Black Lives Matter that. In fact, anywhere you go now, it's almost unavoidable that you will hear Black Lives Matter. But which Black Lives Matter? I just gave you 2 examples of 2 different black lives that one mattered and one didn't, when both should have mattered. And it is a tragedy that that young lady was shot and killed by the police, but it's also a tragedy that she thought it was appropriate to attempt to stab someone. Apparently only Black Lives Matter when people can attach a racial motive. It's not even an emotional one anymore, because I would be emotionally attached to a movement that was behind finding justice for whoever murdered this 7-year-old girl. But we need to deal with the issue of violence as a sin issue far before it even becomes a discussion about race. When people mention the age of the girl with the knife, just because she was young doesn't make the knife less sharp or less dangerous. In fact, just 2 days ago, a 12-year-old boy was charged with the murder of a 13-year-old boy. People are capable of unspeakable evil at almost any age. But we need to focus on ending the evil, and the only way to do that is to reach people with the gospel of Jesus Christ. And what is that? That Jesus Christ died for their sins and rose from the dead. And because you believe that Jesus cares for you, you understand that you must follow his laws. And it's clearly stated in the Bible, thou shalt not murder. All of these sin issues need to be dealt with as sin issues and not race issues. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Joel Patrick, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
I'm the legendary black redneck. Brown skin, but I lean right. Uncle Tom, cause I act white. Pro 2A, that's God rights. Like a bald eagle, take flight. You can say what you want, I don't give a care. Still cruising down the road with my flag in the air. In my big orange truck with the King Ranch trim. Cruising around the city in my 35-inch rims. I'm country, not because of my skin. It's not about what you are, it's from within. I'm country, that's what I wanna be, yeah. Because that's me. Cowboy hat with boots to match. I got some Wranglers too. Might have some Kane Brown on my radio. Cruising the good as you. Now won't you do me a favor and roll some coal on the haters. This is America, where dreams come true, where the sun shines bright on the red, white, and blue. Just move your feet to this country tune, and if I can be me, you can be you too. Just move your feet to this country tune, and if I can be me, you can be you too. You can say what you want, I don't give a care. Still cruising down the road with my flag in the air. In my big orange truck with the King Ranch trim. Cruising around the city in my 35-inch rims. I'm country, not because of my skin. It's not about what you are, it's from within. I'm country, that's what I wanna be, yeah. Because that's me. Brown skin, but I lean right. Uncle Tom, cause I act white. Pro 2A, that's God rights. Like a bald eagle, take. Okay, I know you